they've taken echoes in the halls of history. As the Stage 1 trophy calls out for its champion, Fnatic are back to defend their title. Welcome the Meta Makers, Chronicle! Thrust into the lower bracket, they found new form. And now the sharpened blade of Los Niños is back for revenge in a battle for their first trophy with Woods! Benji Fishy! With the coaches, Milan and Neilzinho, the stage is set. A rematch, 1 year in the making, and it all comes down to this.
Seven out of 10 players on this stage have never lifted a domestic trophy, but that could all change today. More names are about to be written into the EMEA history books. But the question is, as we take a look at this map, Vito, what are the double bans? What are the picks? Are they going to be at our expectations of maybe Fracture and Split coming up first? Here's the $1 million question, because Pearl, there we go. It's
It's the second one, so it's Haven that they're going to take out. Maybe Heretics did a good job and actually improve what Fnatic brought onto the table. Fnatic is going to go for Split right off the bat, leaving Icebox, of course, for the pick of Team Heretics. Makes a lot of sense. Maybe they want to change. They've seen spot some of the flaws. We saw also them changing the composition, going back to that Sova, removing the Deco. This is, this is actually what I kind of expected expected. If Fnatic were to go for that Haven ban, this is what I had in mind.
Yeah, I have to agree. I think this is what I was expected. Although Ascent being left to the end, I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing, especially for Heretics, right? This is something that Fnatic have only played once throughout this stage, and that was a loss to Giant X back in week 4. So yeah, I think coming into Split though, that's where it gets exciting, right? Fnatic, they've played it 5 times this stage. The only loss was that 16-18 overtime to Vitality. And of course, this is the map that Team Heretics have banned every single time against Fnatic, and they've not played it since, well, I mean, the last time we saw them play it was that 10-2 comeback from Giant X.
Yes, exactly. So we know that there is a lot of things that they can do, but they can also lose it a little bit. Thinking also of the peak and split before Fracture, having that intention of we know exactly what to do here. Our double duelist can be so strong on the side of Fnatic. The Team Heretics have proven that that is something that they're extremely comfortable with. Yesterday they showed it in 2 out of the 3 maps that we saw, and it was definitely proven. Ascent for the last one, I'm not surprised at all. I don't think any of this team's like playing that map. No.
Well, I'm going to be a little bit like Mr. Obvious in this, but I really love the way that they left Fracture as a 3rd map, because Bosto said in the past he's so comfortable on it. If they were to lose map 1 and 2, there is no better place in the world to come back from than Fracture for map 3. So they put a lot of thought into this veto, clearly. Let's take a look at the agent select and see if Heretics have gotten over their demons since playing Split the last time. And I mean, they're just almost copy and paste on a lot of these maps.
Yeah, I mean, they have done this with Fnatic's Haven before, and look how that worked out for them. So yeah, I don't mind them doing a little bit of a copy and paste here. But I will say, although they're sticking with that double duelist, kind of leaning into that, this is something that they did play on Split last time and only ended up getting like 2 rounds on the attack overall. So yeah, I want to see some prep going into this.
Yeah, Team Heretics, of course, they choose the defense. They were very successful, as you said, 10-2 against Giant X. It was the second half that we should be more concerned about. But moving Minibu away from the race, giving that to Woods, maybe seeing that the ISO does not really bring that much with the recent stuff that we saw. The undercut doesn't have that much value. And this two could be such a menace together.
And we haven't seen this race in a long time, so I'm excited for it. But we can't have a conversation about the legacy of EMEA without mentioning these 2 casters. They've given you guys the chaos, the magic, and they're going to be bringing you the grand finals here today. It's Panpop.
Thank you so much, and yeah, an absolute treat in front of us today. Mike, we've got the 2 heavy hitters. I think all of us here couldn't imagine a better 2 teams in the final.
Absolutely. I think as well the form, this is probably something you could have called from early on within stage 1 for sure, but it's not necessarily been smooth sailing, particularly once you look outside of this head-to-head matchup. But my God, the form both of these teams are in right now for a grand final, a best-of-5 spectacle. We've got a game on our hands.
Oh, right off the rip, you're calling it a big shout here. But starting off on Split. Now, how do you see the veto loaded? In my mind, this feels very solid coming out for Fnatic here. They've got what they needed.
Yeah, I think reps-wise, you probably do lean a little more towards Fnatic, but again, for Heretics, I think I haven't seen it since week 2, I believe. Again, not necessarily any concerns. I think once we get a bit deeper into the veto, we can maybe start to have those conversations, but I have to see how things kick off here on map 1. Heavy focus for Fnatic over towards B main here. It's Alpha, yeah, though. The other side of the map to maybe try and sell something. TP across here, but Spike not necessarily going to commit towards this play just yet.
You've got to look at where these players are. They're taking their time. There's going to be a little bit of a pause for thought at this point. Fnatic showing presence towards the A side, looking to maybe draw some of these rotations with this late look back towards B. And as you can see via minimap, it's working. They've pulled almost every player off here. There's that little bit of a question mark being raised into Woot's mind of, guys, could they be going B? And we can already see it. Fnatic are on site. Woot's a little too late to the party, and he might be rushed down here. He could be vulnerable. We know he's on his own towards CT, but now he's got support. But Alpha, in the meantime, finds Benji. The layers to this pistol look lovely for Fnatic. Now, can Heretics fight back by any means? Boo burns the paranoia. Rienz is no utility. It's just going to be the fight. Let's not clean it up. Beautiful from him. And a stunning start for Fnatic.
Kicking things off with 4 on the pistol round. Fnatic not shying away from the fight, able to take a breather almost here, partway through this hit. Kayak the one to deliver the kills.
Oh.
Good shit, boys.
Looking
3-1
clean.
done. Just like in my dreams.
Oh, maybe had a vision ahead of time.
I thought it was him and Crashies in the dreams, but seems that Kayak's making an appearance. But 4-0, what a start for him. And we talk about Kayak. If he gets confident early, what this guy can do, and well, that's certainly a start to be had. But I loved what Fnatic were doing there. Heretics now getting farmed up. Alpha wanted on the action. Eco Cobra moment for him, happy enough. And the rest of Heretics, well, you're looking for small victories. I don't think you're going to get many.
Being one of them, maybe. Trying to force Fnatic a little deeper. Posturing up. There is some aggression, obviously. You can see elsewhere on the map, tons of space for Kayak to move into if he does want to make moves. The ping's coming through towards Heaven. We might be able to get here, but again, no paint shell now, only a classic. Difficult to really do any damage or put up any sort of resistance here.
Cutting through.
A trade-off here of the orb.
Just crossing the T's, dotting the I's, really. Doubled up on site, though. Could get a little, I don't want to say it's not going to be dangerous, but there's a chance to do some damage. Chronicle's already cleared Benji, putting Wu next in line. This is looking very concise. Wu, the last one, and we can see where he is. He's pretty far off from this. And I guess if we talk bigger picture, as you were kind of talking about, yes, this initially does look like a Fnatic-favored veto at the very beginning, as you'd expect with the way it goes down. Throughout kind of, I guess, this year, if you're looking at it, Fnatic sitting at 4 wins, 2 losses, and then Heretics, 1 win, 1 loss. It's not up high in that veto for them. So for Heretics, I don't mind them going for that little change up here in the composition as well. Try something out, and Alpha to close this round down. In-zone flawless round 2. Fnatic mean business.
Looking very, very clean so far. Kayak already going to have his ultimate available. Is anything real? I mean, again, with the composition change, it really just comes down to how well Woot can perform. And eyes towards Riens as well in that regard. You're looking fairly all in here. I mean, the only member of Fnatic disconnected from this is Boaster. It's going to be a commitment off rip here for Fnatic. Where the wall is committed. Maybe just going to sell a fake once again with the TP. Nobody from Heretics really moving forwards for info here. That makes it even more difficult really for Fnatic to sell this.
Heretics just going to hold the numbers now. 2 of them here. And the spike is still the Crashies. You're starting to see that move. That's how you can kind of determine where that commitment may reside. Kind of definitely trying to draw eyes and draw attention, but no one's overly biting on it, right? As you are alluding to.
Yeah, and what's key is actually the timing on the smoke here on B main, allowing Boo to slip a little deeper. Does have mini Boo as well here, but now you almost feel as if you don't want to see them committed towards this site hold. Kayak gonna dimensional drift.
Back up towards main.
The problem being now, like I said, these committed positions now become a little concerning if they can't get away from sight.
This is getting tough. Boo is surrounded here, and the great paranoia, but he's been pinned down already. Kayak was on a mission there. With Alpha removing Mini Boo at the same time, they got caught. They got punished for those 4 positions. And the other 3 were the over towards that A site. A brutally long road to come back in on Fnatic, playing a gorgeous game of Valorant currently. Can Heretics do damage? They feel almost absent to these rounds.
So probably going to be holding on to these rifles now. Rien's down at 14 HP. Round 4 purchase isn't going to be there if everybody falls. Looking like back-to-back in-zone flawless rounds here for Fnatic. And like I said, yeah, Heretics kind of need to make a call here on kind of trying to anchor that site that only has 2 members. Again, early rounds, you can let some of these fakes kind of slip through the nets.
And kind of on that, though, I do want to highlight how good Boo's been at that mid-rounding normally. It's one of his strong suits that I love to watch with Heretics. I think he's a very cerebral player. But when I say that Heretics have been shut out, I don't even mean it just theoretically. I mean, looking at the numbers here, Mike, only Boo has drawn blood. That's it. Everyone else is sat on 0, yet to get off those starting blocks. this just feels like there's no opponent on the server. Fnatic just having complete freedom, carte blanche with whatever they want to do.
If that trend does continue here, so if actually Heretics might try and put something in motion outside. Hey, this time around there's members of Fnatic to punish such a play. I think as well in this round, Heretics are probably feeling as if they need to send out some fact finders, figure out what the default looks like.
But we've been seeing the pacing Fnatic have been playing with. It has been deep, and that's an isolated pickup, a bit messy from Alpha there. So a lovely bit of work for Mini Boo. That's going to maybe share over a weapon for Boo potentially, and you can already see that the rotation's going to be trying to support this A side. Benji is here. Got himself the Phantom. He's about to drop though, and the flash to set him in. Kayak on the corner, doesn't get affected, but he notes presence. They are all going up towards this, look towards the vents as the player on the other side, completely unaware of Boaster. And again, this is methodical. It's near on mechanical from Fnatic. Look at this! Heretics not even getting a glance into this. Boo recovered the weapon off the body of Alpha, but he's on the wrong side of the map. The only one here is Rienz with a classic. Mike, he's good. I don't think he's that good.
Wow. Have to get a couple for free here. It doesn't even look like Kayak will give him the chance.
Jesus!
It's shut down here. It's looking clinical for Fnatic. Whether Boo's going to be able to find anything crashes to remove any hope here in round 4. First time we've really seen Heretics go exploring to, like I said, try and figure out what the backline looks like. No surprise to see a timeout called this early on here. Do need to see some sort of adjustment. Because again here, I guess a body in hand is Benji to come up and pick the slack up, and there's just a huge gap in mid here that Boaster identifies very quickly.
Yeah.
I guess also kind of symptomatic of the other rounds, just total freedom across the map.
And I guess this does play into then kind of talking about the next step here. Obviously, both of these teams are going to Toronto. That's not what's being fought for here. But also, we're starting to see the deeper vetoes and potentially faults here, right? This is a map that Heretics will need to correct. If this is them coming out here, obviously it's not high up in their veto list, right? This is not a go-to selection for them, but welcome to Best of Fives. Hey, if we're going to talk about big events, Heretics in Best of 5, right? We've got to talk about longevity with them. This map so far, they haven't looked like they've got their footing at all.
I think as well, you're not necessarily on the defensive side going to see much for the comp adjustment. Even so, really lean towards many changes, but have to see, again, whether or not they do just sit back towards it. The problem being, if they can continue, well, I was going to say continue doing this sort of thing, looks like they're potentially going to sell a fake once again.
Yep. And this looks so similar.
Yeah, because Heretics almost play themselves out of some of these rounds if they can't, you know, pin down somebody for an opening engagement. Almost.
Here again.
I mean, both duelists on this side of the map, alongside Rienz. They all go up, but playing so deep that it's not going to ping anything.
A little bit of an exchange, I guess. If you know that they're playing deep, maybe off even just that previous round, okay. Push
And
a
what's
player
key
up.
here is coming out of the timeout, Fnatic almost anticipating some sort of set piece or aggression.
Lovely.
Spike
Sim.
actually left in spawn this time around.
But they've replaced that question mark for Fnatic now on both sides of the map, so it's very hard. They have to send bodies, they have to fully commit, which they're doing here. So they attempted it towards A, and they've been kind of traded out on that, so it goes back towards Fnatic's favor, as they do currently have Kayak in position. Here, it's been traded back towards Heretics' side. They've got B main, but something they don't like. Boo's reading this as it's not probably going to be B until maybe Rienz calls for support. Now, seeing this boom bot, this should be enough of a worry, surely, but Boo is fully committing towards this idea that it's going to be towards A. That's a lot of faith in Rienz and Benji to be able to do anything to hold back this 3-2 split here. The pilot does not connect, but Rienz needs to call in.
Big win as well to draw out the C's and the snake bite.
Oh dear. Rienz might be in trouble here as a bouncing Alpha flies over. It's Chronicle to claim the kill, but now Benji should be noted. That Viper util, and he's going to do well, but there's a trade coming in. These splits are completely uncontested. Heretics need to get a grip on this, and they can't stop the rot. Boo bailed out the site earlier on, and now punished. They can't get a grip on Fnatic.
Can't even get a look in. Didn't even catch it in the fray there, but where Bosa slipped the net once again. Another issue identified here in the Heretics defense. And it just feels like Fnatic just have, well, I mean, have Heretics by the balls, to be honest with you. There's no space whatsoever. Even Kayak coming through, catching somebody in rotation.
Woo! Let's go.
Barely off the starting block here for Heretics. Need a couple to make this honestly doable in the second half as well.
And look, I was giving kind of a surprise marker towards Boo's struggle to try and deal with these approaches from Fnatic, but I guess I have to then flip that coin and put the credit towards Boaster with some of his calling here. Has been great. It feels like Heretics can't be on the right side of the map ever.
No. No, it's kind of that double-edged sword, really. Damned if you do, damned if you don't.
Yeah.
You can't really justify now being in an awful position financially to time and time again kind of force the issue and get aggressive, but the little things to keep your eye on is obviously some of these utility wins that, you know, seeing the reveal, that creating a window of opportunity. Now the Boombot coming out.
I mean, again, mid, completely left open with all that attention drawn on the extremities, Mike. It just gives them complete walk-ups. This round maybe not so much of a problem because it is just on those pistols, right? Trying to make something happen for themselves. But once again, we're seeing players invent. We're seeing players slip up towards heaven. We saw that last time around from Boaster. They found such a flaw in Heretics, and Heretics can't seem to fix it. They're running low on time here, Fnatic, but they're still dropping the bodies. It's Rian's to find Kayak, but the spike does need to get towards A. 20 seconds now. Maybe the clock could be the factor. Can Rian's land some mad shots? I mean, okay, Carpet's rolled out towards B. Got to get there fast with the spike. But they should have time for this plant. I don't think it's a problem. Rienz can't even get there in time. I mean, I've not seen a player like this in, well, quite some time. To this extent.
See if they can maybe reset here coming into the buy round. But yeah, from a macro standpoint, Fnatic in total control of the split here.
I mean, it's night and day, isn't it?
Again, it's rough really to think about Benji's task here in terms of swinging back and forth, or whether or not they just commit him towards mid. Especially now in the buy rounds going forwards. Even that last round, what was Chronicle all the way over on B that ends up engaging with Miniboot. It's a very, very passive and patient approach here to the attacking half of Split. And probably pretty frustrating for Heretics as well.
Well, you don't feel like you get to play the game, really. It's just pretty solid work. Miniboot, the first to get any committed contact, but if anything, he just fall away deeper. Now, so far, this is the right read.
Yeah.
First time.
I was going to say, Heretics send a Prowler out, and actually they're ready with the Paranoia, but
they might have jumped the gun.
A little early.
Yeah, they really could have jumped the gun on this one because they were in the right place for it. Oh my God, Wood! Tries to get away. Doesn't quite make it too far as Boaster finds him in the end. Was pulling off the nookie, but not quite it. But that's going to force Kayak to pop the ult. 45 seconds, they need info, and they've just found boatloads of it. They know the Paranoia came through by B. They've seen two towards heaven. They've got a great idea. Nice little drive-by from Benji, but Kayak now making his presence known. It's a 3v2.
Spike's in an awkward spot, though.
Certainly is, and Heretics can support this nice ult. That should identify two of them here and actually set up Miniboot. This is big work. Lovely from Heretics on the fly sort of play. Quick synergy between the both. Oh, what? How did Fnatic still win this?
Maybe a little overzealous here. Heretics looking for a confidence booster to kind of take a round away from Fnatic. Yeah, it's really rough. I mean, Fnatic have to do a lot of work to re-establish control of mid here and then the spike. You'd almost expecting Heretics to take a breath here.
One enemy remaining.
And the ult comes through. I think actually Miniboot got his ultimate as well.
Nice! Let's go!
Again, benefit of hindsight short. Maybe just a slight overheat moment, but in terms of the nerves, certainly something you want to keep in check. I was going to say early on, we are already sitting at 7-0.
Yeah, I almost want to see the coach cams as well for Heretics. I'm curious, because we don't often see Heretics in these sort of positions. Hey, they've lost games. We're not saying they don't lose games, but you don't see Heretics often sat at 0-7. It's a very unique position for them to work from. And you could say it's easier to rip off the band-aid, right? Lose quickly, it's a best of 5, don't let it affect you. But you're seeing this quite animated from Weber here. Having a chat, trying to get them maybe on the same page, trying to get a solution to what's going on, because it feels like they've got no idea of the Fnatic tells. They don't know how to take space on the map, how to take any of those question marks at face value.
And that's what's key. When a team's playing like this, and I'm talking about Fnatic, obviously you look towards some of those utility exchanges and what then Fnatic looks to achieve during that downtime. Unfortunately, Heretics is gaining no value off any of their util. And even here, I feel like they've pulled the trigger a little early. Again, I think maybe they're thinking, we have no info on B main at all, not necessarily outside. We can catch them in B main, but this choke is always a little easier to lock down with a snake bite, paint shell, and a paranoia.
Getting cheesy, Mike. They've gone for the cheese solution. And it's actually worked, at least to get Kayak down. Quick stack towards B main.
Toxin screen down.
Look for the win on the other side of the map as well, though. Crashies and Chronicle looking to find something, and a slight overstep from Boo. Punished here, will create a gap once again. You can see Heretics scrambling to find the timing on this rotation.
Please. Heretics. Oh no. Good trade from Rienz at least, but okay.
Open up B, but Woot's still here. One away from the showstopper. That could be a big tool for Heretics to swing this back in their favor.
I'm a bit worried though. Woot's had a really quiet half here. He might feel a bit cold, but he's certainly warming up now. Big shot on Alpha. That's an instant pop with the ult. Crashies might be able to spot him out.
What's Rienz to find it?
How are you hitting that? Okay, Boaster now a 1v3, 20 seconds. Jump spotted out. Sees there. They know they've caught him now. Should be a swing if they fancy it. They're not going for it though. 13 seconds. Boaster's got to get a move on. Heretics, they might be about to get there first. They do. Off the back of Rienz. In a base safe card, Thrifty. I mean, a great shot from Woot as well. That was his first kill, by the way. I wasn't
going to say it, but yeah. I mean, what a time to find it as well. Rienz 4 on the round for him, but a crucial kill. Oh, just spotted him, the readjustment from Rienz. Beautiful. Often the superstar for this Heretics roster.
Guys, 4 more rounds and we got this, okay?
Can they springboard off that one round? And actually, Fnatic, if they've got anything else up their sleeve here, in terms of their approach to split, force Heretics back into recovery mode.
Time to jump.
Close flash here, and I mean, my eyes immediately go towards Benji and Boaster in mid here. The timing on that is going to be crucial in terms of the rotation.
Feels like, until this point, Boaster's been winning it out, right? His lurk timings was lovely. Woot's curiosity could actually get the better of Crashies. Starting to maybe get a bit of a tempo read on this, a temperature check. Woot. Don't know if he spotted Kron completely there, but still, Fnatic finally getting a fight back. 50 seconds. The tempo stills. Boaster looking to maybe open up another chance towards middle. Timing's there. Boo has to back away, but he's not alone in this. Benji wins out the fight. This time controls Heaven, investing the ult on top.
Good Chronicles. He's got 2! 2 through smoke. It's going to open up a site, Lauren.
30 seconds
Okay, I guess if we're just having these sort of rounds, it doesn't matter. Oh man, you thought it was maybe a chance back for Heretics, but Chronicle gets a gift from the gods. Leaving just Benji now to face the music. Fnatic, you don't get luck as well as this scoreline, but apparently with Chronicle you do.
I mean, the first, sure. The second though, the timing, I mean, it was eerily spooky. But it's absolutely huge.
Right.
I think actually, yeah, just catching a glimpse on the edge of that smoke. It's really unfortunate. Again, whether or not that's kind of Boo at max range, putting that smoke down there, or it's intended actually to give something to watch the cross potentially, but by the finest of margins, Chronicle will punish. But Heretics back in really rough spot in terms of the finances as well, Lauren. Guardian, 2 rifles, but Woot just on a classic.
This is hard to watch.
I mean, it's
play.
excruciating, yeah.
Yeah, because again, look, we know the caliber of player that Heretics have. It's why you'll get a 4K from Rienz to win you a round.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
Right, but the difference here of capability when it comes to the team play aspect and just general knowledge on this map is stark, right? This is a great first pick from Fnatic, putting themselves up at 8-1. Boaster wants his revenge, but see his eyes there, almost looking trained in towards the mini-map, so you've got to be careful. Smoke towards middle, and once again clearing methodically towards his A site. Now, unaffected, Rienz is the only one who seems to be firing up here. Taking away Chronicle this time. Alpha looking to take space back towards heaven. Still a lot of players here, Mike. A good opportunity, but maybe a
30
bit.
seconds
I was going
left.
to say, Heretics is conceding mid this time around. Benji up towards Rafters on B. Only a Guardian, though. Still has the snake bite. Has to lock down Fnatic here if he gets punished on the peak. A little dicey here.
Oh, IRL trying to dodge it out, trying to buy the time, but he's gone down. It's 10 seconds of boo.
Missed the cross.
It's not good enough. That's it, that's one down. Kayak now going to identify how many players crossed, at least spotting 2. Boaster! Get me out of here, Mike. Get me out of this map. This feels like bullying. Good lord, it's just Woot. This has been an absolute... I mean, that's a good shot here, but it's done for. It doesn't matter, you can't face down the whole army by yourself. Fnatic striding through this map.
There's nothing left up for chance by Fnatic. And even in where it looks a little, you can't even say dicey, where Heretics get a little victory.
Where's this shot through smoke?
Fnatic just
One enemy.
applying even further pressure.
Nice! Good job, bro!
9-1 the scoreline now.
Fire, bro.
Yeah, again.
What chilling, man?
What can you do on those sort of days when now what? Kills through smokes, things that aren't even planned for. Ultimates now firmly in favor of Fnatic. Well, Woot again. The head of the snake almost. Kayak will fall.
Okay. Oh. There's a few players there.
Yep.
First time we've seen pick against Fnatic, and now they have to work against the odds here. But it feels like at least slow and steady now. Should be a pretty big tell. There's a lot of presence on this B side of the map, but maybe unwilling to back away. Plenty of ults to try and cross through. Boaster's got his, Alpha's got his, Kron's got his, and a decent amount of util still left.
Almost committed towards this now with 2 teammates alongside him. Can he get away? This time around, he's jumped up, but he's found over the top of the box.
Yeah, Kron caught him and they swing out as 3. Miniboo doing really well though, leaving just Kron alive, but this man has been doing miracles.
30 seconds
But with 12 HP, I don't see it. Make me a believer, Chronicle.
Quite just gets caught.
Now he's scaring the life out of me here though. Why does this feel doable? It shouldn't be, and it isn't. Rienz, make sure of it as Heretics get their second.
Able to stick the landing here in round 11. The best they're going to hope for here is a 9-3 half. And again, the ultimate's still a concern for the final round here. Desperate, I mean, yeah, pick your poison, really. Yeah. But it's 2 headshots. Yeah, actually, Boaster and Crash is lining up there. I didn't even catch, actually. It was a clap there.
Dummy. Good job.
Was completely silhouette behind Boaster. But like I said, these ultimates still a concern coming into the final round. This time, Kayak on his feet, so can maybe set that in motion ahead of a site hit here.
Committing on both sides. Miniboo going to be backing away. Woot's isolated here. He could be, wait, Woot's not cleared. Oh my god, okay, Woot's paint shell does incredibly well. You can have the ult on top, but it doesn't quite find it with his ult coming in. Now Fnatic eyeing up the A side of the map here. And Heretics backing away, buying time for rotation. When I say Heretics, it's Miniboo.
But this time around, Heretics have found fortuitous timing towards Heaven. Benji's still here. No pressure through mid this time around. It's all in from Fnatic.
Yeah, Kayak investing that ult, but it's Chronicle to alleviate some of the pressure, but Mini Boo gets dealt with. Kayak and Kron up against Rien's Boo and Woot. Both of the Fnatic players on the A side. Chronicle wants the ult. It's a bit more safety here, waits for it to bloom. It's over the spike, lets Kayak get to work. Plant gonna come in. Rien's controlling.
It covers so much space there, Lauren.
Certainly does, and Kron is eyes trained on CT.
Could get spammed out here though, you've got to be careful. Hold on to a weird off angle in front of screens here.
Toxin screen down.
That Prowler's just come in. That should be Rien's noted, and there's a gap here for Kayak to watch. Now he's not going to see Boo just yet. Boo's dived in, swinging at the same time. It puts on Kayak. Drop down. Woot was waiting, and Heretics still in this by the finest of margins.
By the skin of their teeth, Lauren. We'll find the third. I think Kayak maybe looking for the TP inside the pit here, but with Kron falling immediately, and post plant falls apart.
It is finest margins, 9-3. Let's see how this one closes out on the second. Well, for the Fnatic fans, I don't think you could have asked for a better start. 9-3, Mike, and the fashion they did it was just unfathomable at times. Beautiful work from them, great calling, big individual impact, but Heretics did claw back 3.
Yeah, you could argue maybe making it doable. Certainly not how you want to come out of a first half at a best of 5 on map 1, but yeah, I mean, Kayak just taking absolute control of the first half here.
Yeah.
Heretics, like I said, just constantly on the back foot. Actually interesting. Pistol round stack. I mean, this is 1.16 kills on average for Kayak. From pistol rounds here. Again, actually even kicking off here. What was it, a 4K in the first one? See if that confidence has been knocked here on the side of Heretics. Just Chronicle really wants to take contact if it came, but actually Heretics on a little timing here with him slipping away, so maybe this is Fnatic poising towards a retake.
The util they still have left, quite a lot. We've got Alpha's kit, Crashies, obviously the Prowler has been utilised, but that paint shell very much in play.
Look how disconnected Boo is though. He's so paranoid of a late lurk.
Alpha the lurks that have been coming in against them on the first half, you don't always blame them really. But it is going to be go time right about now. The layers of utility go in and Alpha is flying straight away and no one is looking his way! You can't let Alpha go unchecked like this! Ooh, putting up the best stand he can, but he's 5 HP! Oh my god, you got something for us, NT? Bloody hell. I mean, it got interesting, but the defuse is there. Kayak and Crash is going to make it, and that's 10 right off the rip for Fnatic.
Timed perfectly off the paint shell as well. Alpha, the double satchel round I think maybe somebody from Heretics expecting a peak to come through earlier on from there, but the utility scattered across it. You can see it in the replay. Beautifully done. Now for finding two. Everything you could want from a play like this.
Oh my goodness, guy is killing everyone.
It's double digits already here for Fnatic. Long road back in for Heretics. Going to choose to invest here, so let's see whether or not Miniboo can get anything done. It's actually donated across here from Wu. Oh, that's the first, but Kayak actually, the high-low setup paying off for them. Be careful now.
Yeah, there was a little window of chance there for them, wasn't there? So the Outlaw gets passed over. And Crashies does need to be cautious, right? He's the one on the 25, so that lighter shield. Now it's on Woot to try and make that work for themselves. He is within this pack, so could be a chance here for Woot.
Fnatic walking this.
Oh my god, yeah, that smoke's going to drop to the terrible surprise. Or is there just a flash to come out? No, they're going to wait for the drop, potentially. Just holding the edge here.
It looked like they were going to walk all the way through,
did,
but...
didn't it? There's the drop, and there's a connection. Kayak needs to back from this, though, as they try and close down. They didn't expect Chronicle. You don't get a fair fight today, it looks like. Fnatic in full form here. The first map of the finals, getting to 11 like it's nothing.
And barely breaking a sweat so far. See, Heretics now will come back in on a purchase. I think maybe Miniboo just thinks there's a little more space to swing into here.
Spike down.
Wouldn't matter too much anyway. I believe there's still a player up towards heaven watching the cross. Well, obviously, after the donation in the previous, only a stinger here. Actually, Fnatic very frugal as well in terms of the approach. Yeah, it's feeling pretty awkward now.
Boo. Ah, the confidence!
Every single response from Fnatic is just doubling down on what Heretics are able to achieve.
It's like, oh, we get the first pick called none traded.
I mean, you think back to the first half, on the extremities, it's always a man to the good for Fnatic. There's always a 2v1 for them. So, Benji could slip this here. Crashy's still looking back, but just missing each other.
Still got, that's lovely from Benji, but oh, Kayak! Getting caught by Rien's Big, that opens up the gates completely. That's the A site for them. And look at the weaponry that Chronicle and Alpha have. I mean, well, Alpha's got a Vandal at least. And Alpha's going walkabouts. He's off. Taking a stroll. Front, slowly but surely, heading through towards CT, but Alpha's not being quiet about this. He's being rather pacey. That's about to drop here. He's got two potential targets, one right, one left. He wants to set up the paint shell. Thought about sending it to side, didn't. And now the cross should be the death of him. He does go down, a little labored. It was Rien's to help out.
Even really here for Chronicle, you want to see him do some damage.
Yeah. Identified two of them up towards heaven, potentially, so, okay. Ooh, he was close on that second too. So, held off from 12, Heretics. Taking another back. Look, this is, again, there's a couple of maps in this veto that will sit more one-sided to one team. Again, even when you look at Icebox, Fnatic haven't been particularly looking towards that more often than not. However, I guess one of the wins was against Heretics. Out of the two games they played this year. So it is a bit tricky to guess it, but this one, I need to see Heretics warm into it a bit. Start looking like, as I said, one of the best from what? 2024. Need a bit more from them. A little bit of life there. Fire up a bit. I mean, we still got Boo on 3 kills. Benji on 6. You know, it's still not quite enough here. If we get Fnatic snowballing confidence, you get nervous. Now, though, another opportunity to stave off that 12th round.
Bottom mid here. Kayak's going to progress any further than this. Have his hands full now because Boo's got some reinforcements alongside him.
Well, certainly cut out now, but they're all eyes up towards the top of middle. So Kayak gets a freebie, takes away Miniboo, so he's right back towards spawn and just praying his 4 teammates still standing can do enough. So they've got no progress towards middle. The extremities now you look towards. Benji trying to win out that fight towards ramp, but you've got confident players against you, willing to take chances. Maybe sometimes they shouldn't. The contact made and Crashes now. Should be cautious. But already Kayak's cleared through.
And again, the timing on this is purely from Crashes feeling a little bit of pressure. Doesn't know exactly the picture behind this. Actually, oh, hang on, Chronicle almost caught a nice timing on the back lines here, but unable to pin anybody down.
There we go, Crashes. He's had a quiet game, so he hasn't been needed. This would be the time to start showing up here, show a little presence, show a little force. No util to play with just a weapon in hand, and his site currently controlled by Heretics. He's got problems, but Kayak's helping him out. Boo's gone down, and now they're wrapped on the pillar. He knows where they are, and he's taking them away. This was his site. Quiet, deadly, Fnatic back in control now, up to 12.
Crashes so disciplined on these beats. And it's only really the smoke, the supportive smoke actually, that allows him to slip a little deeper. Buying a little time for Kayak to come through. And here Boo, unfortunately just caught completely off guard. Kayak sitting at 26-5, by the way.
He's absolutely put mini.
It's just outrageous to have this sort of performance in the first map of a best of 5.
It's very impressive. It really is with Kayak. And Heretics, gotta dig deep now. You got Stingers, you got Sheriffs, you got Guardians, and one Vandal. Oh! Kayak has got your number. Doesn't matter the weaponry, he's in the right place, right time, and he's not missing this map.
Even just sitting there waiting for the TP to come through. Didn't catch the second, but 2 freebies here to kick off round 17. Whoop, Boo and Riens to try and recover this, but 5 standing for Fnatic, Lauren.
You have to start bringing in the avoid CNED rule. You know what I mean? If you see him, run. Flee on site sort of orders, and the map's not looking so big anymore, right? Like, let's say they try, let's have a little wander through sewers. Well, that wouldn't have been a great idea, but it looks like they're trying to split back towards B, but we can see the bodies here. It's a gamble stack, and it's correct. I mean, Crashes has heard nothing, so he doesn't need to call for support. He's fine in this. Tell them to wait, see if they can keep their composure and keep their cool in this read that's right. 25 seconds, there's not much room to pivot. It's fight forward. Try and fight fire with fire. Fnatic have got all the players in the right place here, and Chronicle is clean today. He's got both, and it's Boaster to sign it and seal it with an in-zone flawless in map 1 to close out.